Good afternoon and welcome to Walker Park in Yass for a very special day in the Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup for 2019, and it is a very special day for the history of rugby league in the Canberra region. Today the Yass Magpies celebrate their centenary, 100 continuous years of football in Yass under various banners, but mostly as the Magpies since about World War II. They celebrate or commemorate today numerous premierships and numerous great achievements. International footballers have been chosen from the Yass side over the years. We'll talk about those as the day goes on. My name is Chris Coleman, and alongside me, John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders, Canberra Region Rugby League. John, good afternoon.
Hey Chris, great to be here. Magnificent occasion, as you said. The first club in the region to get to 100 years, easily the oldest club. A fantastic achievement and a great turnout today for what's going to be a great game of rugby league.
I've been here for a couple of hours today to catch some of the lower grade games, and I've got to say I've been to this ground a few times. It'll be the last time we see it in this configuration, or certainly the last time I see it in this configuration. It's going to undergo some fairly major work in the off-season. But the number of people who are here today, every car parking space on that hill on the far side of the ground today was full during the juniors game. So some of the regulars who would ordinarily turn up 10, 15 minutes before first grade, they've had to park end on this afternoon. There's plenty of people around, and I suspect when the Yass side come out and they're going to look a little bit different today, more on that in a moment, there's going to be an awful lot of noise here. Oh,
there definitely is. I almost considered walking from my house in Goulburn just because it would be just as easy just with them. It was pretty hard to find a park, but I've managed to get one in the end, and it's just a massive turnout, and I'm just really excited just to see how Yass play. They've got a lot of talent in this team. I think that they're probably a lot better than the ladder suggests, and I think it's going to be a really tight game of footy.
Been a tough year for them. They currently sit 9th on the ladder, 2 wins, 11 losses, just the 6 competition points. They're up against one of the front runners, the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs, who are second with 9 wins and 4 losses. Yass has been a tough year. They were virtually a road team to start the 2019 season. 2 of, I think, their first 9 games were at home. They've had a welter of home games since, but really haven't been able to capitalise on that as much as they would have liked to. Their wins have come, though, against Gungahlin, 48-14, and against the Queanbeyan Blues, 36-32, just a couple of weeks ago. So they are capable of turning it on. Goulburn on the other side, they've been there or thereabouts all season. They haven't had a long winning streak, though. Their best winning streak is 3 games, which they're coming off the back of a 3-game streak now. They had another one to start the season, so they're looking for a 4th straight win for the first time this season. The last time these sides met was, of course, in round 2, just up the road at Goulburn, and it was a big win, 56-12 to the Bulldogs. On that day, Hodge scored 3 tries, Warboys 2 and Orbison 2 for the Bulldogs, and it was Venesi and Davis who scored the tries for Yass. Important game for Goulburn, and we will talk about them during the course of the afternoon. They are, of course, looking to bridge that 3-point gap to catch Tuggeranong for the minor premiership. They've got to hold off the Queanbeyan Blues, who are also on 20 points. So, as always, the fascinating latter stages of the regular season are playing out for us in the Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup. Yass, well, they can't make the finals. They can shape the finals this weekend and next weekend against Tuggeranong, and their season will finish off here in 2 weeks versus West Belconnen, because the Yass have the bye in round 18. So that's where we sit at the moment. Now, this Yass side, John, I think we can let it out of the bag now. They are going to look a little bit different from what people are expecting. They're not going to be wearing their traditional black and white jerseys today.
Yeah, exactly. So they had their jersey presentation just probably about 20 minutes ago, and a member of, I think it was one of the 40s Yass premiership winning sides, presented their jerseys. They're going to be wearing a strip which is the strip that they wore in 1919 when the club was founded. So not your usual black and white, but a black and gold kit, which looks amazing, I must say.
It does look tremendous. Now, some of these jerseys are going to be auctioned off at the Yass Centenary celebrations tonight. If you're not going to be at the venue, maybe ring someone who's there and see if you can put in a bid. They're going to go for ridiculous sums because most of the players were given the option to buy the jersey, and most of the players have chosen to. But across the grades today, the juniors wore a 1970s style strip, the reserves wore a 1950s style strip, and here they come, the Yass Magpies, in this magnificent black and gold that they wore from their foundation year in 1919 through to about 1930. And about 5 jerseys from this strip, the reserve grade strip, and the juniors will be up for auction tonight at a big function at the Yass Soldiers Club to mark 100 years of rugby league here in Yass.
Yeah, and I'm actually tempted, looking at them again, I'm like tempted to bid on one, to be honest. But it's going to be a really good matchup. And going into the game itself, just a few interesting sort of little battles. A couple of ex-Goulburn players playing for Yass with the number 9 and the number 7, Mitch Turner and Josh Vittori. Both played for Goulburn last year, and there's always a bit of play movement down the Hume. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes as well.
And of course, anytime these sides play against each other, we throw the form book out the window, because there's nothing like a derby, like a bit of rivalry. And between Yass and Goulburn, two of the oldest settlements, not just in New South Wales, but two of the oldest settlements in Australia. So the rivalry between these two centres in all areas is always strong. And today, on a day where Yass, they are commemorating premierships 1939, 48, 54, 56, 59 and 2006. Throw in a couple of Canberra Cup titles in the second division in 86 and 90. The George Took Shield when they were moved into that competition and dominated it through the late 90s, 95, 97 and 98. They're commemorating those today. There's going to be an awful lot of spirit out there from this Yass side, and I think we are in for an absolute belter here this afternoon.
Absolutely, and also one thing to add is Yass's first ever game was against Goulburn, which is why this match was chosen to celebrate their 100 years. Players just in a bit of a huddle now. Kick-off not too far away.
If you want to find out, by the way, I'll get the plug in right now. If you want to find out a bit about the Yass Magpies, and I love reading these books about country footy teams. Ross Luff has put together a tremendous book. It's being launched again tonight. It's called Tales from the Nest. You can pick it up for $30 via the Yass Magpies Facebook page.
We bought 5 in the office, and I had a bit of a read on it during the week. He's done a very good job. A lot of information. I was chatting to him during the week, and he was talking about Colin York, who played for Yass in the 20s, and within 6 weeks was playing for Yass and went to playing to Australia. So he's gone through the whole history of the club, and the funniest story about it was that he thought he had another year to make the book, and then he realised late last year that the club was actually founded in 1919. And he was telling me, he's like, do I tell anyone or do I just sit on it to give us some extra time? He's like, no, I better say something. So he told everyone that all the preparations went into fifth gear.
Well, as with every proud author, he's very proud of his work, and I had a quick look at it earlier this afternoon, and I can tell you it's a very worthwhile book, and there's other centenary memorabilia available. John, we'll catch up with you a bit later on. John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders Cup departs the scene to go and do his duties during the course of the game, and we're underway. The Goulburn Workers Bulldogs are in the predominantly white strip running to the left of your screen, and the Yass Magpies in the unfamiliar black and gold moving to the right. And let's see which way it all goes at the moment as they work it up the middle of the park at the moment. Getting involved early in the defence is Isaiah Tito for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. So coming in to dummy half is Mitch Turner, a little bit frustrated, asking for a faster play of the ball. Doesn't get it. Pops it to his left and goes to Sean Davis. They didn't get the fast play of the ball, but they did get the penalty from about 5 metres inside their own territory. The Workers didn't retire as far back as they should have, and that's a good touch finder. This will give Yass a great start. They're going to be going from right on the attacking 20. The tap is taken by Willie Peace, one of the big club men for this Yass Magpies side, and he takes it up to the 10. The unmistakable David Faete comes into dummy half. Pretty ordinary ball picked up off the ground by Fattori. Fattori gets it. I think it might be Davis in underneath at the moment. He's on the 10. They're just to the right of the uprights. Turner in at dummy half now. They come across to the right. Through Fattori. Fattori looks for Peace and gets it. He's pushed back by his opposite number, Chris Hart. They're throwing it again towards the sideline. They're going to hold him in, are they? He's gone to ground. That should be held. Peace goes to ground, 15 out and 2 in from touch on the near side of the ground. Long Sydney Harbour Bridge pass. Goes to Davis. Davis with the short ball. Finds Venisi, and Venisi, he has, I think he's lost the ball. He has lost it there. Had a man on his outside. It was Davis, but he couldn't get the ball to him. And that was Sean Davis in the 8 that would have been his target there. And so the ball's been turned over, and it's the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs now who try and bring the ball out. We've got a couple of Davises out there for Yass today, Sean in 8 and Ben in 13. And for the Bulldogs, it's Cornish Central with Tyler in 1, Mitch in 6 and Nick Cornish in 7. They come across to the left now. And in underneath there is Tyson Greenwood, and Greenwood gets it to just short of halfway. They go across to the right now. Just one pass off the ruck, and it's with Brebner. Connor Brebner has played for a few clubs in this Canberra Raiders Cup competition. Doing a great job for Goulburn so far this year. Now it's Fenoti. Fenoti sends it across to Nick Cornish, and Nick Cornish ducks out of the first tackle. He's got Tyler waiting for him, decides to go himself again, gets inside the 30-metre line, and he's lost the ball. Has been stripped from him by Meekum Crane, but the referee's blown the whistle in there. And it'll be a Goulburn penalty in there, so good work by Meekum Crane. Comes to nothing. And the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs, they'll get the ball back just on the 30. Or was it lost in there? It's like the scrum's coming down. I didn't actually see the referee's signal, so I was guessing off the whistle, but scrum ball lost forward by Meekum Crane and stealing it there from Cornish. So Goulburn will get the ball back via a scrum. Not by a penalty. Whistle blows because we're still getting the scrum organised. One thing you can always guarantee is Goulburn to go to the left. They've got nobody to the right. They give the ball to Nick Cornish. Nick Cornish then to Mitch Cornish. He goes way on the outside to Stephen Cummings, tries to get through, but is taken around the ankles by Fayette Ete. They're 28 from home. As we go to the right now with Greenwood. Greenwood, he just pushes and pushes. He takes Ben Davis with him. 12 metres out, just in front of the posts. Ball comes to Mitch Cornish. Mitch Cornish to Nick Cornish. Still going is Nick Cornish. He's looking for the line. He's over the line. He's on his back. I think he's been able to reach forward and put the ball down. He has. Try time. First try of the afternoon to the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. First points on the board. We're not even 4 minutes underway here. And it's a Nick Cornish try for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs to get things started. Kick to come. Wind will be going across this conversion attempt somewhat. It is blowing. Well, I'm standing right on the halfway line, and it is blowing immediately at my back as I look at those posts. So, Cornish scoring to the right side of the uprights, and in fact, as I speak, the wind starts to pick up, and indeed, maybe even turning just a little bit as we speak as well. So, turning now to start to favour the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs side, who have this 4-0 lead early. Goulburn, they do need to win today. They've got a tough task. The minor premiership is not out of reach, but a loss today would, I think, put it out of reach. A win today keeps it mathematically possible. As we wait for the conversion attempt. And Chris Hart, no problem at all. Pops it over, the whistle sounds. And it is now Goulburn 6, Yass 0. And we've been playing 5 minutes here at Walker Park. Mentioned in the lead-up conversation with John Kreuter, this game is going to look, or this ground is going to look considerably different. Won't just look considerably different on the stream next year because of the development. It looks considerably different on our streams next year as well, because we'll be filming and calling the game from the other side. There's going to be a grandstand built over on the far side of the ground, which is currently hill area. There'll be a few hundred undercover seats there. That's Fenoti taking the ball up to the 30-metre line for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. So that'll also change the complexion of this ground. Big change this year has been the addition of these new light towers. You can see one of them in the background, the silver tower, with the new high-energy LED lighting in there. Now that's Izzy Titor. And Titor takes the ball almost to the halfway line for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. They've got an overlap on the blind side, but they go the other way. Brebner. And they're once again into attacking territory, the Bulldogs side. To the left they go now with Mitch Cornish, and he goes for the kick. It'll be Bailey Marr, the fullback, and he looks to try and get after him inside his own 10. He had no support at all, and there were 4, maybe even 5 Bulldogs jerseys there for him to try and get around. Here comes Fayette Ete. He's now 15 out from his own line. They're working on the short side. That's Mitch Turner. Almost had the chance to get to Jesse Collins. Jesse Collins gets a little bit of attention in back play. Didn't like it much. Willie Peace now takes the run across the field. 12 short of halfway, middle of Walker Park. They've looked to the right. They've got the numbers to the right, and the kick comes down. There's nobody back for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. It'll bounce a couple of times. It'll stay in the field of play. Stephen Cummings should have the speed to pick it up. He does. Gets it about 2 metres from his own in-goal area, and then runs straight into Jai Smith. And he's then wrapped up. And maybe a little bit too much attention there, as the referee suggests, possibly a little bit high in the tackle. And so Goulburn, after a good kick from Yass, will now get a penalty to relieve some of the pressure. I imagine we'll wind up going fairly close to wearing this one up here in our perch of the Eagle's Nest. It is coming very close to us. It'll fall a bit short. And Goulburn will restart 11 short of halfway. They lead 6-0, 7.5 gone here in the Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup for 2019. Chris Hart takes the first run in this set for the Bulldogs. Yass needs some possession. They're going to start to tire if they've got to keep defending. They give away another penalty. Yeah, too much. Just too much effort in that tackle. So now another penalty for Goulburn, and this one they can afford to really search for some cheap real estate. They get it. They'll start on the 30. Probably could have gone another 10 metres by going how far that kick went, but they'll take it and go. And that's Titor. And Titor takes it to 20 on the first. Makes another couple in the tackle as well. Orbison goes to his right, finds Greenwood, and Greenwood straightens. He's pushed back a little bit in there. Ben Davis making the tackle. It was. That's Mitch Cornish, and Mitch Cornish, oh, he's got spiders on him. They can't hang on to him. He goes through, plants the ball under the uprights. Easy try. Easy try for Mitch Cornish. And Goulburn at the moment, they're racing the clock. And indeed are beating the clock. 8.5 minutes gone. They lead 10-0. And it's been, it's almost been a law firm of its own. Cornish and Cornish. And they get the first 2 tries of the afternoon. One to Nick, one to Mitch. And the conversion here for Chris Hart, who from memory converted 8 of 10 the first time these sides played each other this year. He'll be thanking the Cornish brothers for making these ones relatively easy. The wind's dropped away again. I'm just looking away while Chris Hart gets ready for the conversion attempt. We have a lot of trees around to the right of screen, off the right of the screen, and there's very little movement in them. So that wind we got earlier may have just been a squall or two. I do like a goal kicker, a penalty taker or a conversion taker when they've got a routine, and even when it's an easy one here from about 11 or 12 metres out, they could just flick over without taking too much effort. Still go through the whole routine, and he strikes it with the left foot, pushes it a little bit to the right, but Chris Hart is 2 from 2. And with 10 gone, it's 12-0 to the visitors, the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs over Yass.
30 minutes remaining till half-time. Score Goulburn 12, Yass 0.
Yass really needs some football. They really need some football. I had to sound like Captain Obvious, but I think they've only had 2 sets, possibly 3. And I think their opponents have had double that. And they get another one now to bring the ball out. And that was Izzy Titor. He's 30 out from his own line. They go across to the right. Trying to steal the ball there from Brebner was Jai Smith, but Brebner had a good grip on it. And he's taken short of 12 short of the half-line. Brebner was asking for a penalty. Didn't get one, telling his teammates it should have been a penalty. So he's not a happy man, is Connor Brebner. Cornish to Cornish. That was a Mitch on to Nick. Before being wrapped up underneath it all was War Boys. And they're 10 metres into opposition territory again. Finoti had the offload opportunity and got it to Greenwood. Greenwood probably should have passed to Tyler Cornish. Instead, he got smashed in the tackle about 8 metres out from the line. Tyler Cornish would have been through, would have been in for a try. Instead, it's the last tackle. Mitch Cornish. He goes wide, and I think it's been knocked on by Titor. Titor sees the ball going past, and it's been picked up by Fayette. He's gone into touch, but it'll come back to a turnover because it was on the last tackle, and no advantage to the home side from that lost ball by Goulburn. So the Magpies, after getting a roll of the dice and unable to do anything with it, they'll get another crack. They'll play the ball about 10 out from their own line. Good start to the day here for the visiting side. I'll have some scores, by the way, from other games, as this game started half an hour later than all the other games in the Canberra Raiders Cup today. We'll probably by full time today be able to tell you what's happened in the other games, and I'll get John Kreuter onto it with a calculator to see what the implications are for the standings. Ball, little offload in the tackle there comes to Mitch Turner, and Turner takes the ball to 25 out from his own line. So, yes, they go for the kick early in the count again from inside the 30. That's a good one. It's been knocked back. Bounces a couple of times from Patrick Cook, and he finally retrieves it 15 out from his own line, just in from touch. He gets grabbed by the jersey, and Brendan Houston comes in to complete the tackle. I think it may have been McDonald who was in there to make the initial contact. A few Goulburn players slow to get back on side. Tyler Cornish has it, and he's now on his 30-metre line. They go the short side, the Bulldogs, running straight into the Yass Magpies defensive line. They come across to the left now through Nick Cornish to Mitch Cornish. He then has Titor. Titor, who knocked it on earlier, we're looking to make amends for that and gets into opposition territory before he's wrapped up by Ben Davis. Tackle prolonged a little bit, but the referee says nothing wrong with it. They come again to the left. Mitch Cornish, he spots Chris Hart, who spots a gap. He sends a ball. That's gone a long way forward for mine. Picked up off the ground by Cornish, and it has gone forward. I don't think anyone can really complain about that being called as a forward pass. For mine, it was about 3 metres forward. You can't even really call that back out of the hands and drifting forward. So Yass will come up with the ball out of a scrum. They're living dangerous. They just need to pick a man and mark up at the moment. Goulburn, they're just finding gaps in the line at will. Seems to be, we'll see if we can keep an eye on this, but I reckon maybe 2 passes off the play of the ball where the gaps are opening up. So Yass maybe just a little bit condensed around the play of the ball. They give the ball to Willie Peace after the scrum, and he takes a run 5 metres and gets it about 15 metres out. Bench, by the way, for Yass, if you're looking at the Canberra Raiders Cup record during the week, the 16-17 hadn't been named at that stage. Chris Rawlinson in 16 and Dylan Percival in 17 backing up from reserve grade to complete the bench. Now they're on their way up the field again through Davis, who got the offload. And then in there was Meekum Crane, I think it is. Now the ball got stolen from him. Is that Dylan Rota who's come on? It is. Had the ball stolen from him. But it's going to come back to Meekum Crane, the 5'8" for the Yass Magpies. And there's a player down in back play here. Our Bar TV camera's picking that up now. Not entirely sure who it is in there. Might be Greenwood. Just in the hands of the trainer at the moment. But he's up and we're back playing again, and once again they go for a kick for that far sideline, and it bounces and bounced again. Now, has that gone past the 20? Where's the touch judge going to go? He gets up to right on the 20. Right at the 20. But it must have been just outside the 20. Touch judge on that side's come back to the 30. I'm just making sure it is the 20. There's no number markings on the field, so I've got to double check. Yeah, it was the 20. Must have been just outside. So scrum to be fed by the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs at their own end of the field. And good defensive work there by the Yass Magpies. Smith getting up there and making early contact. And now flying in there was Peace. Might have gone a little bit higher there on Chris Hart. Didn't make too much contact, and Hart is taken by Fayette at a 10 short of halfway. Going across to the right now for Finotti, and Finotti gets the Bulldogs to the middle of the field. Pretty sloppy play the ball. Referee agrees with that assessment. Goulburn disappointed. Yass will come up with the ball, and they'll come up with the ball on the halfway line. My mind is struggling with this Yass jersey. It looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks absolutely fantastic in this black and gold. The foundation jersey for the Yass Magpies. If you just joined us for this and wondering what's going on, why Yass in the black and white. They're in the black and gold that they wore in their foundation season of 1919 and through till 1930. But it keeps doing my head that it's Yass, because I've seen plenty of sides playing in a jersey like this. Most recently, probably the Gundagai Tigers in the Group 9 competition. My mind keeps going to say Gundagai, which is weird enough. Sean Davis on the second for the Yass Magpies now, and they're 12 metres into Goulburn territory. They've got numbers to the right if they use them. Slow play the ball. They don't get anywhere, and now Goulburn have been able to pick up man on man. They come across to the right to the Magpies. Ma gives it to Fayette. He steps to his right. Steps to his left, and then he's tackled. Gets a ball away, finds Peace. Peace, if he can go sideways, if he can keep going here, he's got a chance to offload, but he was looking backwards instead of forwards. He had on his outside Fattori. And Fattori was still in space. This is going on forever, this tackle. Peace finally tackled 29 out directly in front of the post, so he's taken the ball 30 metres, all of them sideways. Now it's Ben Davis, just set sail for the try line. He's tackled 12 short. They go across to the left. That's with Meekum Crane. Meekum Crane finds Venisi. Venisi, the little ball goes forward, and it's lost over the line now. Tyler Cornish was the last one to touch the hand in that, but I think it was actually lost forward as opposed to kicked in there. My view was obscured for a second by a couple of players. So it'll come back to a Goulburn Workers Bulldogs ball again. 17 minutes gone, or 16 and a half if we're going to be pedantic about it. It's 12-0 to the Goulburn Workers side. Yass starting to settle down a little bit now that they've actually had some football. It was tapped dead by Tyler Cornish. So they go for the short restart, and they get a player out there in an awful hurry. But it's safe with the Yass Magpies, and Ma has it. Ma then gives it to Turner, and Turner, Mitch Turner, 22 out directly in front of the post. It's not Mitch Turner. Mitch Turner had it. He's on the came into dummy half. Venisi has it now. Venisi gives it to Ben Davis. I think maybe Ben Davis I was calling Turner before. Apology. So that's Ben Davis. Plays the ball. Turner Hops over a man prone on the ground to pick up the ball. Gives it for Tori. Tori has support from one of his bigger men. And that'll be Venisi. And Venisi, as you can see, a couple of metres out from the line. Good chance for the Yass Magpies here. Meekham Crane has to play at the ball with his foot, then kicks it forward and has been kicked dead there for the Bulldogs by Cornish. Nick this time. So Yass, they're really starting to get some ball now. This will be a third set for them. Now Goulburn went for the short line dropout last time. Will they try the same tactic again? Well, Yass have only got 1, 2, 3, 4 men up at the 10. And they've picked one of them out. And they've got it this time, and that was Dylan Rota, I think, who got it. And Rota, he gets past the 20, over the 30, he's past the 40. If he can get out of one more tackle, he's broken 4 tackles. He's going to go 90 metres and score, is he? Or he's going to run at a puff. He's run at a puff. He's got someone on his left. That was Nick Cornish. Couldn't get the ball away, but he's gone, 70 metres after catching it on his own 10. Turning defence into attack, the Goulburn Bulldogs, as Nick Cornish goes for a run. Runs straight into Noah Venisi. Probably not the smartest of options. Stops completely dead. Now, at speed, taking the ball forward. I reckon that's Hodge. He's come on as an impact player, has he? No, it's Dodson. It was Dodson who had it. Came on as an impact player. Now we've got a player being held up on his back in the in-goal area. So Goulburn will take the ball back to the 10 to go again. And great to see Mick Dodson out there. The old man and the football, as opposed to the old man and the sea. For Noti it was, who was held up in the in-goal area. Now Mitch Cornish. Mitch Cornish finds Titor, and Titor, well, you can see where the try line is, only a couple of metres away. This is the last tackle coming up. They go the short side. There's extra numbers in defence there for the Magpies. They keep the ball alive, and now it's with Hart. Hart puts boot to ball, sends it high into the air. It's been lost forward there by Tyler Cornish. And Yass have got it now. Will they get an advantage here? Well, they get it back out into the field of play. I reckon there's Jesse Collins who had it. He's about 12 out from the line now. Play goes on. Willie Peace ducks out of the first tackle, tries to get out of the second as he's grabbed by James Orbison. Plenty of physicality in there. And it's been welcomed by the Goulburn fans who are standing on the near touchline. And then when the penalty comes to the Yass Magpies, the Yass fans and the lower grade players behind the goals there give a big cheer. Now there's a conversation going on here. Referee and touch judge on the near side having a chat. Now going over having a chat to Sean Davis from Yass. And here comes the ball very close to us in the tower. It'll fall just short, but that'll mean a restart about 30 centimetres short of halfway for mine. That's where the ref is, or where the touch judge is. Yeah, so only got half a field to cover here, and they'll get their first points for the day. What can they do? They give it to Fattori, who then finds Mitch Edwards. And Mitch Edwards is 5 metres into Goulburn territory. Turner continues the play to the left, and he gives it to Meekham Crane. Meekham Crane then finds Jesse McDonald. A few people calling for a shoulder in there, I think was the phrase I heard being used. Davis, Sean this time. He's 30 out. Very slow play of the ball. Waiting for it is Mitch Edwards. Edwards turns around, finds Fattori. Fattori is inside the 30, but they're not making ground very easily at all, Yass. They need something special. Who's got it? Is it Ben Davis? Is it Sean Davis? Sean Davis has it. Can he get the offload? He's been jumped upon very quickly by Warboys. Warboys trying to steal the ball from him. Can't do so. James Orbison comes in to complete the tackle. They're 11 out from the line. They go to the left. Meekham Crane has a little bit of a juggle. Nice ball over to the far side of the ground. I reckon it was Jesse Collins who got it. But they can't achieve. And Jesse Collins gets to his feet and the ball comes back to the Bulldogs. So after 2 early tries, 2 tries in the first 10 minutes, there's been no additional score. We've got 19 till the break, and that's 12-0 to the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. The Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup round 15 action as the Yass Magpies commemorate their 100th anniversary as a club this afternoon, this cool afternoon in Yass. Mitch Edwards comes up to make a tackle there, helping out, I think it's Smith and Davis in the tackle that was. Gee, they work it easily from side to side, this Goulburn side. That was good from Tidor to get the offload away. Now comes around the outside to Cummins. Cummins flirts with the sideline, keeps in play, pops the ball back inside to Mitch Cornish. He's wrapped up by Meekum, Crane and Fattori. They're still lying on him, Could be a penalty. No. Referee's allowing a bit of leeway in there. Brebner goes into the 8. He's lost the ball. Lost it forward. And it'll be a scrum for the Yass Magpies. Well, Yass, they're getting plenty of the ball. They're just getting in the wrong part of the field and not making the most of it. They need to get further up the field with it. I've not been to this ground in quite a while. Last time I was here it was about 3 degrees, blowing a gale, threatening to snow. Today, a much more pleasant day. We'll have the lights on before full time tonight, and that'll be something to see as well. These new lights here at Walker Park in Yass. Not been here since they were installed, but I've been told by the locals that they're very, very impressive. Yass setting forward into opposition territory again, and they go with Willie Peace, and he takes 4 Goulburn players with him to make an extra 7 metres. That's dedication to the cause. Ben Davis waiting to the right, but they go to the left and find Sean Davis. Sean Davis, long ball to McDonald. To Collins, rather. Collins is still going. Pops it away. Now that's been lost backwards from mine by Mitch Edwards. Doesn't matter. It's been picked up by Goulburn. And it's Orbison who's got it. He was reading that play. Now the big man, Mick Dodson. And much akin to a speed bump trying to stop a semi-trailer. The Yass Magpies are unable to halt the progress of Dodson for several metres. Now that might be Tyler Cornish, it is. And that's the 20-metre line that he's on. Still getting things sorted out here behind play. Calling for a runaround play was Martin, and he gets the ball there, and he takes it to 12 metres out. Pretty ordinary ball. Dodson waits for it, picks it up, goes sideways. They've got an overlap. Tidor is there. Tidor probably could have popped the pass away to Hart, and there was a gap for him to run into. But he got wrapped up just before he could offload. Now it goes to Mitch Cornish, who decides to run. Gets around 1, gets around 2, plants the ball over the stripe. Try time. Mitch Cornish has a double.
Part of the Bulldogs scored by number 6, Mitchell Cornish. Score Goulburn Bulldogs 16, Yass 0.
And time off has been called here. So 15:54 on the clock till half time, and 16-0 the score. And Mitch Cornish with a double this afternoon already. There's a conversation going on here. Referee having a chat with the leadership group of the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. You've got Raiden Finoti in there and Matt Warboy. So maybe it's not the leadership group, maybe it's the forwards. Not sure what the chat's about. But I don't mind seeing that. When play's stopped and we're waiting for the conversion to take place, the clock's been stopped, so it doesn't matter greatly. It's not going to interrupt anything. Clock restarts now. So that's good refereeing. Have that conversation at a time when there's no heat. Let's hope that if there was an issue that needed to be sorted out, that it's now sorted. He's 2 from 2. Here's Chris Hart, and that makes it 3 from 3, and now it's 18-0.
Successful. 15 minutes remaining till half time. Goulburn Workers Bulldogs 18, Yass 0.
Well, it hasn't been a day to write home about so far for the Yass Magpies. Their junior side was held scoreless. Their reserve grade side picked up some late tries, but the game was already over and done with by the time they got their points on the board, really. And today, in this first grade game, they really do have their work cut out for them now. They're giving a side that's 7 spots above them on the ladder an 18-point break. But I've seen plenty of comebacks in this Canberra Raiders Cup competition over the years. Mick Dodson with the second for Goulburn, and he takes it to just short of halfway. Now Titor again. He's been busy so far today. Been one of their best, actually, for mine, other than that drop ball. He's had a good game, has he? He takes the ball once again into Yass territory. Now it's with Matt Martin. He's the easiest man to pick out up there. Finoti lost the ball. McDonald grabbed it. Now, That's been called by the referee. That's been called as a knock-on, has it? Lost forward by Yass. Well, maybe there was a Yass hand in there, helping Finotti to lose the ball. I don't have the advantage of a replay. And I'm elevated here. I'm nowhere near as close as the referee. So Goulburn get the ball back and they feed the scrum 10 metres into opposition territory. And Tyler Cornish has it. Now it's Nick Cornish. And again, they find themselves 30 out. And that's only the second tackle. Now Martin going to ground fairly early. Mitch Turner helps him to ground. Flat pass to Nick Cornish through the hands, and it winds up with Titor. He's had a very good day, and he's got to try to boot. Well, he lost the ball in there, but I don't think that's going to have any impact. I think he'd already got it down. It was a secondary grounding where the ball came adrift. Was indeed, and Titor, he has a try.
Part of the Bulldogs scored by number 11, Isaiah Titor. Score Goulburn 22, Yass nil.
And trouble is brewing. And there's a player down here for the Yass Magpies. And that, I think, is Bailey Marr. Apologies if I've got that wrong, but it certainly looks like him. From what we can see of him, certainly looks like his legs. And I can't see him in the player group for Yass behind the goals or over the goal line. He's not on the bench, so I'm going to say that is Marr there on the ground being attended to. Just going by the way that they're not letting his upper body move. Maybe he's got a stinger. His legs have moved, so that's a positive sign. Maybe a stinger there. And Bailey Marr still on the turf here at Walker Park in Yass. 13 minutes till the break. There's a conversion attempt still to come. So Marr now sitting up, so that's a good sign. But I would suggest if he's copped a bump to the bonce, then he'll be taken off for an HIO. I can't see him returning to the game this afternoon, and that's really not what Yass would want. He'll get a generous round of applause from his teammates on the bench and everyone watching today as he's helped from the ground. So it'll be Dylan Percival to replace him, and that may require a reshuffle to the back line for the Yass Magpies. He really does not look a well boy at all, Bailey Marr. He's walking under his own steam, but I've got an arm on him to make sure that he's not going to suddenly drop. In fact, one of the trainers has got a hold of the collar on the back of his jersey there to make sure that he doesn't fall, so I suspect that's the end of his day today. As Chris Hart comes in for his fourth conversion attempt, he's pushed it right. And he's 3 from 4. Score remains 22-0 with 12.5 remaining till the break. I don't know if it's an omen, but I just saw a magpie swoop in over this ground. So let's see how, if any difference that makes it to this game, as Mitch Cornish takes the kick off and gives it to Matt Martin, who again takes the ball back out to the 30. They've hardly played the ball at their own end of the park, this Goulburn side this afternoon, and Finotti has it, pops it back again to Martin. And Matt Martin, 12 short of the halfway line. He's been busy since he came on. Goulburn have options left and right as Jason Gray has come in to dummy half and he found War Boys. Gray again puts the ball behind Hart. Picked up off the ground by Titor. Titor scored a try a few minutes ago. Now he does some cleaning up. And again, he's about 10 short of halfway. So I said Goulburn hadn't played much in their own half. This time they might actually play a full set in their own half. See what happens as they go for the clearing kick. And Collins has it. So Collins out of the outside of his own 30. He's tackled in there by Jason Gray. Still standing and still standing. Finally gets to play the ball. Now that's Charlie Shepherd who's come on in the 14 jersey for Yass at dummy half. So quite a few changes have been rung now. And again, Yass just can't find themselves a way to make meterage. They made 0 metres on that tackle. This time they get outside their own 40. And they continue to work it across to the right. So they're into opposition territory. The call was to go to Josh out the back. So let's see whether it does. Winds up with Venisi. And they're in opposition territory. But again, that's the last tackle. They've really struggled to make ground. Fattori goes to the skies. Tyler Cornish underneath it. And he takes the catch. And then he's tackled 15. Make it 18 out from his own line. I reckon Turner was up in there. They're moving around very quickly, that Magpies side. Venisi and Shepherd were also involved in the tackle. So Gray. A little bit of a juggle from War Boys. He's lost that ball. Lost it cold. Picked up off the ground by, was it Mitch Edwards? It was. And Mitch Edwards stays just in opposition territory. But referee says there's no advantage to the Yass side in that play after the ball was lost forward. So it'll be a scrum to Yass. They've got a chance to execute a set play. They got something up their sleeve here. See what they can bring up. The Goulburn side. They've all picked out a man. Yass have worked an overlap on the short side, but they come the open side. They go via Housden, and Housden is 35 short of the line. Now it's with Mitch Turner, and Turner takes it to the 30. They're only making 5 metres a tackle on most tackles, and Goulburn, the other end, are making 8, 10, 12 metres a tackle. Venisi, he makes more than 5, makes about 9 before he's brought down 21 out. Now a little run from dummy half to Shepherd, and Martin eventually comes in to wrap him up. They're 15 short of the line. They go to the left. Turner. Longish ball to Meekum Crane. Meekum Crane finds McDonald. McDonald still standing inside the 10. Is this the last? I think it is. Referee says it is. They've got numbers to the right. They go the short side. They've actually managed to sneak an extra number over. The kick comes through. It's been tapped in the in-goal area into the dead ball, over the dead ball line by Goulburn. And Yass will get it back. Goulburn have shown they're not afraid to go for the short kick-off. They've done it at least twice this afternoon. It came off once and very nearly came off the first time, came off the second time. They go short again. Maybe just a little bit too long. Tapped back by Goulburn, but was that Shepherd in there who retrieved it? Now, he's got the penalty in here. May have milked it a little bit, Shepherd, but smart play nonetheless. Yass get the ball. They're 15 out, just to the left of the post. They've got numbers to the right. Edwards takes it, and he's inside the 10 before it takes 3 Goulburn players to put him to ground. Dodson and Martin amongst them. They go again to the right. Here's Venisi, and Venisi just sets sail straight for the line. He's 3 short. Hard to stop a big man at speed. Shepherd decides to run from dummy half, and he's tackled almost on the line now. Venisi's in a dummy half. Will he run it himself or will he pass? He'll pass. Not the world's best pass. Gives it to Fattori. Fattori finds Smith. Smith back to Fattori. Fattori over to Peace. Willie Peace. He's about 7 metres short of the line. Yes, they just need something. Standing very flat was Venisi. Puts a longish ball across to Meekum Crane. Meekum Crane then finds McDonald, and McDonald pops it outdoors, finds Collins. And Collins is brought to ground on the 10. This will be the last tackle, so they've really not made any further inroads. Back to Collins. Collins puts a kick in, knocked on. Knocked on by Goulburn. Yass will get the ball back. Well, Yass asking plenty of questions. But Goulburn treating them like the first 4 or 5 rounds of Millionaire Hot Seat and just taking the right option every time and keeping themselves in the running to pick up the prize at the end of proceedings. 6 minutes 22 left till half time. 22-0 to the visitors' side. But here we go. Yass have the ball and they give it to David Faete. And he gets them to within 5 metres of the line. They're taking a long time to get up and let him play the ball. Shepherd in at dummy half. Goes left, finds Venisi. Venisi bounces off one. Tries to take 4 players with him. Gets to the line, gets pushed back into the field of play. And he's about a metre short. They need to fast play the ball, and Goulburn are slowing it down very effectively. To the left, that'll be McDonald. McDonald, he steps once, he steps twice, he reaches over the line, and he's held up. I think he tried to reach over his head and plant the ball. Now, he's meant to come back to the 10 to play this. He's come back to about the 8. Nick Cornish is injured in back play and doesn't look in a good way, by the way. I'm not sure what he's hurt there. You've probably got a better view of it than I have. Is it his right forearm? I think he's going to be done because, geez, he's really grabbing at that, and well, he's still grabbing at it. He's gone into the defensive line. He's way out there on the wing. I'd just get a big man and run straight at him. We'll see if they do. Right now they've gone a long way from him. And that's Mitch Edwards in the middle of the park. Nick Cornish still receiving treatment over the left, and the Yass side go that way now. Meekum Crane. Meekum Crane gives it to Houston. Houston wrapped up before he can make the pass so they can run it at the injured Cornish in the corner. They come back to the right now. Meekum Crane again. Runs around. Goes to his left. Gets a pass away to McDonald. McDonald puts the ball high up. Last tackle. And a secondary kick comes from Goulburn, and it goes straight down the throat of Stephen Cummins. And Cummins is 15 out from his own line before he's wrapped up. Goulburn are playing with 12 at the moment. Nick Cornish is over in the back corner of the field. I'll keep telling you about that when I can. But he's getting his arms strapped at the moment, so they're trying to keep him out there until half-time where they can give him a better assessment and not use an interchange. You think Goulburn aren't taking this game seriously, even though they're 7 positions above Yass coming into it. That was Matt Martin. He was tackled there, and that might be Dodson again. It is. 2 metres short of halfway. Little run from dummy half from Gray. Gray got the ball to Finoti. Finoti tried to get the offload away, and it's wound up with the Yass Magpies. So it's a 12-man defensive line for Goulburn at the moment with Nick Cornish 5 metres out from his own line, still with the trainer attending to him. 4 minutes till the break. And Yass crossed the halfway line with Mitch Turner, and that's a shoulder. Referee says a shoulder charge. And it'll be a penalty to Yass Magpies. They take it from right in the centre of the park, and they get 23 metres. So play will restart right on the 30. Cornish back in the line, in the defensive line. Nick Cornish. When I say back in the defensive line, he's right over the far side of the field. So Yass would be smart to attack down the left. See if they do. Mitch Edwards takes it. They're 25 out from his from the try line. Shepherd in a dummy half, a signal to his right. He goes that way, gives it to Venisi, and Venisi brought to a stop by Titor and Dodson. There's another player around his legs. I think it might be Finoti. It is. Inside the red zone again. 3:15 till the break. They come left through Edwards. He's been very, very busy in the past few minutes, Mitch Edwards. Gets the ball to the 10. They come to the right again. Venisi had overrun it. was Fattori. Fattori onto Peace. Willie Peace gets around one, gets around the second, gets into the arms of Tyler Cornish, is brought to ground 10 metres out. They come across to the right now. And Mitch Edwards, as I said before, he's been very, very busy. Gets into 3 metres short of halfway. This is the last tackle coming up once again. Shepherd, he tries to offload as he goes to ground. Maybe got a little bit too cute. I think they probably should have been trying to play it to the left. They really should have been. Goulburn have got Cornish out there, and I don't know how fit he is. He's done absolutely nothing since he got that arm bump. And even there, he was coming up, getting ready to go in to play the ball, and then moved out of the way. So right now, he's literally just a body out there. He may as well be a mobile witch's hat. He's not doing anything. They just want to keep him out there till half-time and save an interchange for the second 40. That was Martin in the headgear, who took the ball up on the previous play. Lost the ball in there. I reckon it was Titor who's lost it. Izzy Titor lost the ball, but the referee is saying it was stripped out. So Goulburn get a penalty with 1:40 left on the clock. This will be a training drill here as they play the ball on the halfway line with under 2 minutes to go. What can they do with it? They give it to Chris Hart. He's 5 short of 5 into opposition territory rather. Gray to Dodson, and Dodson, well, he doesn't know anything other than to go straight and hard, and he takes the ball to the 30. Now to the right they go. Mitch Cornish has it. Mitch Cornish gives the ball to Warboys, and Warboys, oh, well, there was no gap. Then there was a very, very, very big gap, and it was a Warboys-shaped gap, and it's a try just before the break. And that's a 5th try in this first half. The first to Matthew Warboys, the second from the forwards this afternoon for the Goulburn workers. And they are really starting to do it very, very easily, despite in the last 5 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer, having Nick Cornish effectively receiving mobile treatment down there on the ground.
Yeah, I was just chatting to the trainer, and they were just checking for a hyperextension, but it looks like it's just a knock, so he'll be fine. And we've just been told that Bailey Marr, he won't be back, because it's due to the protocols for a concussion.
Absolutely. John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders Cup joining me back up here in our Eagles nest overlooking, or Magpies nest I suppose it is,
yeah.
overlooking Walker Park. But the last time we called the game from up here, John, and look, I like the view from up here, but I will admit next year being here behind glass where it'll be considerably warmer will be much nicer, I think.
We'll see how the ladder goes for your knee as well. But it's good fun over here. It's a good crowd. Just hoping just to see a little bit more attacking threat when the Magpies had their chances. There was probably a good 10 minutes or so where they were down in their attacking 20 for a bit. But yeah, 28-0 at half-time.
28-0 at half-time. Chris Hart 4 from 5 with the boot. Mitch Cornish has 2 tries. Nick Cornish, Isaiah Titter and Matthew Warboys with 1 apiece. You look at that scoreboard, you look at the scoreline, you look at the numbers there, and you'd think, well, it's been all Goulburn. But Goulburn, a couple of those tries have really come. The foundation was long-range stuff and just a couple of scything runs to add to it. Yass for mine, I said it in the call, John, when Nick Cornish was off being treated, or not off being treated, but being treated over on that far side of the ground, they didn't run it over to that side where there would have been a man short, B, a guy that couldn't tackle, and C, potentially a bit of confusion with a trainer out there as well. They didn't execute well, and I think that's been the story of the day for the home side. They just really haven't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I think because their left edge obviously has changed up a bit as well, so you got 2 kind of makeshift edges up against each other. So I would like to see, when they go down the right, I'd like to see Fayette come in and field a little bit more, just get involved a bit more, because he's such a threat with the ball in hand. But yeah, they didn't really attack down that left.
No, they didn't. But at this stage of proceedings, it looks like it's going to be all Goulburn here this afternoon. But let's hope that Yass can put up a few points in the second half and make a bit more of a game of it.
They'll be running down towards a fairly big crowd as well. So I think if they need any extra motivation, they'll definitely have that in the second half too.
Now, how good's a relay, a juniors relay, John? Did you ever take part in these?
Yeah, when I'm taking photos down the sideline, I think most of these kids would beat me, but Oh, this guy at the front, he's killing it.
What have we started with? So we started with the real littlies doing the 50, and now the 100 metres. Keep an eye on that kid. Yass Magpies want to sign him up for the future. How many juniors they got here? Look at them all. They're all in the Yass Magpies juniors kit. I've got no idea which teams they are. But the young man in the hat, what's he got? He's at the halfway. He's got about a 30-metre break. Will they run him down, John?
Surely not. He's killing it. Well, but I think this is also just a nice little sign. Like, yeah, Yass had 100 years, but the future's bright too. Some good juniors coming through. And just a great environment out here at Walker Park. It's always one of the good grounds to be at.
It is. I mentioned during the play that the lights will be on here before the end of the game. They'll probably be on in about 15 minutes, would be my guess.
I hope so, because I don't know how my photos will go otherwise.
And if they're not, then we'll just sit back and try and call the footy in the dark.
Everyone's got black boots, so that doesn't help.
This young girl is still in front. She's got a 20-metre lead, although there's a
guy chasing.
In the number 2 jersey here. He's really motoring. They've cut into that gap by about 10 metres, and this guy with the track pants on, he's off. He's got the ears pinned back. Will we get the photo finish? How many more to go? There's still a couple of legs to go. How many legs in this relay?
I've got no idea. But there's some fairly tall-looking kids at the back, so I think there's a while to go.
There's another couple still to come.
Here we go.
That early lead has been pegged back.
It's gone.
It's gone. It is absolutely gone. This guy's fast. He's looked across to the left. He knows. Here he goes, the number 10.
Is he a prop?
I'd be surprised if he was. Might have jumped the start a little bit there too. Just quietly. This one in the black and grey jersey.
He's making up a couple of metres, but.
And the flashy blue Matt Martin boots on the other side. He's really having a crack. There's nothing in it coming down here. How many more? There's another couple of legs to go still. And now there's one in the middle. I tell you, watch this. Yeah, he's got the advantage of height, this guy. But the one in the middle I'm impressed with.
He could be playing first grade, I reckon.
There's, who's he got to follow? Well, if this was the Commonwealth Games or the Olympic Games, there'd be plenty of red flags going up on the changeovers.
The lead's changed again.
The girl on the far side with the blonde hair has taken the lead.
There's another leg to go.
The one here in the black jersey. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we've got a beanie, and in the beanie, we've got a speedster. Someone's done a hammy there, has she? She's struggling on the far side. Will she hang on? Oh, it's the hammy versus the beanie, and the hammy gets home. I reckon there's a done hammy in there about 30 from home, John.
Yeah, I think I didn't mind going down the sideline before as well, but the women's tackle side finishing that one off. Taylor Wright claiming the goods there.
And I love this. This little fella here just he's decided he wanted to have another go. The little fella there. He's added an extra leg to the relay.
He only got to do 50. He probably was like, how come everyone else got to do 100?
Great stuff. And a great rugby league community here in Yass. And, of course, they mark 100 years tonight at the Yass, it's the Yass Soldiers Club here in town. Great venue, and of course the season launch for the competition was held in Yass there at the start of the year. Can't believe it was so months ago.
Feels like a long time ago. I think I was definitely wearing shorts and begrudgingly wearing longer pants then, and now I've got about 5 different layers on. But yeah, it's just been even that day, like. At the season launch, the Yass juniors getting involved, and it wasn't just about the seniors, and that is one of the good things about Yass. It is a good community and a rugby league community as of that.
And as we mentioned, 100 years, 100 continuous years, because even though, as mentioned before, John, the first game that Yass played was against Goulburn. It was a different Goulburn side. Goulburn have had various clubs over the years. Yass have been a community club for their whole existence. They're not like the Queanbeyan clubs who've been able to get the backing of leagues club machines and the clubs in Canberra, which obviously have access to a larger population base. But here in Yass, they're a small town, an individual town. The club's a community club and very proud of it. And mentioned before their premierships, and they had that massive drought, of course, from 59 to 2006. This place didn't sleep for a week.
47 years between drinks there, and there were plenty of drinks after that was broken too. Also, interestingly today, Chris Rawlinson, who's backing up from reserve grade, he was the winger in 2006 when they won that premiership. So he's been there a long time, and And that win as well, no one expected them to win that premiership too.
No.
Against the Queanbeyan Blues, everyone written them off, and they ended up beating them by about 24 points, I believe.
Was a most comprehensive day, and in many ways it came from out of the blue. And was unexpected. But mentioning those premierships, 1939, 48, 54. 1954, an unusual premiership because the competition was split into 3 zones that year.
That's right. You were commentating that game, weren't you?
Yes, and we were timing the games via sundial and hourglass and keeping score via abacus in 1954. But then 56 and 59, but then, as mentioned, the 47-year break. But they picked up titles in the second division, the Canberra Cup competition. I remember the Canberra Cup fondly. I'm trying to think who it was they beat. And I'm thinking Ambassador, and I just can't think of the nickname of it. There was, but you're going back. There are other clubs in that competition.
I'll pull it up.
You're going to Google that for us.
I've got it on our website.
They won Canberra Cup in 86 and 1990. The George took Shield in 95, 97, 98. But we talked about the community aspect of this club and the junior aspect of this club. 7 juniors premierships they've won as well, the Yass Magpies, and 4 reserve grade titles. So over 100 years they've had their share of success. I'm sure they'd like more. They've had a number of grand finals where they've gone very close as well and haven't quite been able to complete the title as well. But they've I should also give a big thumbs up to the club today. They've gone all out on the match day program. Quite often we turn up at grounds and match day program, well, it doesn't exist in some cases, and in other cases we get maybe one photocopied sheet. Here we've got, it's about 20 pages worth here today, and John's trying to find the 1980s competition, and I'm trying to find the 1980s competition. And I know it's on the club website, it's not in the match day program for today, so we'll see if we can dig that out before the end of this game. But what we might do is take a quick 60 seconds here. Oh, he's got it here.
The Ambassador Camels.
That was it, the Ambassador Camels. I knew there was something else about it. But that Canberra Cup competition, that was a great competition. It was a one-team competition, so you didn't have reserve grade. I remember some of the other clubs. There was the Canberra Gladiators played in that.
Yep. The
Bungendore Tigers were involved in that competition back in the day as well, I think.
You're asking the wrong person, I think. I'm a bit before my time.
And there may have even been a there may have been a Canberra Roosters side as well. I can't remember what part of town they were from, but and Yass is sort of, and that's the remarkable thing about this club, that they've gone for 100 years, but they've had to, at various stages, they've been deemed too big for this competition, too small for that competition. They sort of bounce backwards and forwards between a few, but I reckon that the future's looking pretty good, especially by the number of youngsters who are involved there in that relay at halftime.
Oh, exactly. And you just look at, like, when you're going through the history, you look at all the team names that have, and all those teams that have come and gone, and they've been a constant throughout the whole thing. So. Obviously, yeah, the future is very bright. They're doing very well across. Their reserve grade side this year is doing very well. They won the youth league last year out at Crookwell. Their women's side is top of the table, despite having played a game less than other sides, and their league tag side's coming third. So they're doing really well. Not just in first grade in recent years, even though this year's been a bit tougher, but across all grades. And as we kick off the second half, it goes down to Mitch Cornish. It goes to Matt Martin, who runs it up. And he's wrapped up there by Peace and Smith.
Thank you, John. John Kreuter from the Canberra Raiders Cup. We'll catch up with you at full time. John, and of course our Man of the Match interview, John, will also have available via the Canberra Raiders Cup Facebook page and website later on as well. So that will be coming up. But here once again, it is the Goulburn Workers side. And they've got the break once again, and it goes with Mick Dodson, and Dodson takes the ball to inside the 30-metre line. Gray in at dummy half to his left, gives it to Cornish. That time it's Mitch. Mitch Cornish then to Tyler Cornish, and Tyler Cornish, he's inside the 10, he's inside the 5, he's looking, he's got 3 jerseys, 4 players hanging on to him. He's just short of the line, he's got someone underneath him, can't get the ball down. They're close. They're very close to adding to their haul, this Goulburn Workers side. Can they do it? They go to the right. It's with Nick Cornish, and he's wrapped up straight away. Brought to ground by Jesse McDonald. And they've lost 10 metres. They're coming back now via Finoti. Finoti, he looks to get the ball away, puts it into the path of Gray. Gray can't get a hand on it. Tyler Cornish picks it up, sends it around, finds Warboys. Warboys spinning around in the tackle, goes to ground. He's 5 in from touch, 5 out from the try line. Referee says last tackle coming up. It's with Nick Cornish to Mick Cornish. Mick Cornish turns around and gives it to Chris Hart. They're just running it on the last here. They're not trying anything fancy. And Chris Hart is wrapped up, 12 short of the goal. Something else that'll be different here at this ground next year, I'm told, as well, by the way. And I'm sure that we'll be able to get a nice shot of them on the camera for you later on. The goalposts here, they are unique in the Canberra Raiders Cup. They're the American football-style posts. Next year we go to conventional goalposts. So a little bit sad to see them go. It's a point of difference here at the ground. But talk about that in a second as we see Tigers, Yass trying to keep the ball alive, and that was, I tell you what, not a bad effort by Houston to do so, and he's sent the ball back, and it was dived on by Collins, and he's kept the ball alive. So well done to the Yass Magpies as McDonald now takes it, and they're 7 short of halfway. Kick comes from Shepherd, bounces a couple of times. I wonder if Nick Cornish has actually moved out to play on the wing here. Tyler Cornish at fullback. Had Nick next to him, and Tyler, he's gone straight through the defensive line. He's got a man on his outside, a man on his inside. Can't decide who to pass it to. Ducks under the tackle from Willie Peaks. Now he sends a long ball. He's got it there to Titor. Titor, he's sent it out, but it's been tapped away there by Fayette, I think, and there's a bit of push and shove going on behind the play. Referee blows the whistle. And someone's not happy with Willie Peace. There's a Goulburn supporter on the far side of the ground who's made his feelings very, very loudly known. Referee has stopped the clock here. I've seen Willie Peace dispatched to the benches in the past. He really wouldn't want to do that today. He did get in a little bit high. I didn't see if he carried on behind the plate. I don't think there's anything particularly nasty in it. He was just playing very hard football, as he does. Referees and touch judges separating the two camps at the moment. And now conversation happening. Quick chat. Touch judge on this side has seen something. So who's getting called out? What's going on? Other touch judges coming in. Got your tickets to the ball tonight? Yeah, I got my tickets. You got yours? Yeah. Okay. So plenty of gesturing. Now, let's see where we go. So we've got Warboys and Nick Cornish. Plenty of chatter. So someone will want to flick that light switch here very shortly. The sun's getting very, very low in the sky. All right. So now we've had the conversation, Cornish and Warboys and our referee, and now we're back over to the far side where the referee's checking up with the touch judge again. Okay. And after all that, ball lost forward by Yass. Goes to the goes to the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs, and yeah, I just looked down at ground level and there's about 20 people shrugging about what it was all about in the end. So, yeah, I'm lost. Let's get back into it. Cornish to Cornish. To Cornish! And on the outside it goes to Cook. And Cook sets over the corner. Oh, they don't come much easier than that. That was a training drill. Feed the try. Nick, Mitch and Tyler Cornish give the ball to Patrick Cook. And it's 32-0. Easy as pie. They really don't get much easier than that. Blink and you miss it. Time off called by the referee. So we've got 3.5 gone in this second 40. I tell you, Goulburn, they'll be fancying their chances here to catch the clock. So more chat going on. Willie Peace and Matthew Warboys have been called out by the referee for a conversation. I think this is okay, boys. We don't need this game to degenerate into anything, so let's just keep it sensible. Be smart, play footy, have a good time out here. And we're back into where we should be. Time back on. And Chris Hart went 4 from 5 in the first half. No wind at all now. It was blowing fairly strongly for a while in the first half. But it has dropped away. So Hart, all he has to do is put it straight. He does put it straight. And he gets his 5th conversion of the afternoon. He's 5 from 6 and it's 34-0. 35 or 36 minutes to go. When we get a chance, we'll just dwell on those goalposts for a moment as well and see what we can find. So we see a restart and Goulburn have it through Gray. Gray takes it to 15 out. So Orbison's getting a fairly lengthy rest on the sidelines by the looks of things. Gray, 15 out from his own line, getting plenty of work at dummy half. And speaking of plenty of work, that man's getting plenty of work as well. In Mick Dodson. They go across to the left. Titor bounces out of the tackle. And he straightens again. Oh, that's gone high. That's high. His head's rocked back in there. The big man went for the big tackle. You heard the bodies crunch and the fans got excited by it. And that's rugby league for you. They go across to the left and Dodson tries to drag Mitch Turner with him, but he can't. He is tackled just outside the 40. Mitch Cornish with the towering bomb. Now no Bailey Marr for the Yass Magpies at fullback. He's gone off, so it looks like Jesse Collins has moved into the custodian role. And now Houston has it. For Yass, they're starting to develop a bit of feeling here, and not necessarily in a good way. You see Rhoda come in late and flopped on Venisi. So Yass get the ball, and they'll get a good set here. They've made plenty on the touch finder. They start 30 out. So, Houston with the tap. Finds McDonald. McDonald bounces off Warboys. Takes another couple of Goulburn players to bring him down. Hodge being one of them. Rota being the other. Shepherd at dummy half. They go right through Turner. Turner finds Edwards, and Edwards is inside the red zone. He's pulled another couple of metres towards the line there by Hodge in the tackle. Unnecessary, and now it's a penalty to Yass. So they take the tap. They give it to, I think it was Turner who got it. Now they're inside the 10. Where's the gap? There isn't one at the moment. The Goulburn defence has been very, very disciplined. So Mitch Edwards takes it, and Mitch Edwards is 5, 4, 3 metres short, and then he's picked up and dumped. Matt Martin, the leading tackler in that one. Shepherd was obviously he was going to go to the right. Venisi was there, but Venisi was almost stationed when he got the ball. He needs to be mobile when he gets that ball to have a chance to break through the line. There you go. Long ball to the right to Fattori. He had to change direction. Then he gives it to Smith, and they've lost metres. They're back to about 8 out from the line. They've got numbers to the left. Couple of quick balls to the left, and they might get around. Fattori to Meekum Crane. He needs to make one more pass. And he held on to it too long and gave it to Rota. And now Dylan Rota is away for the Bulldogs. He turns. He straightens. He gets past the outstretched arm there of Houston. He's got Collins behind him. Collins goes for the ankle tap. But Rota, he gets to the line. He celebrates before he plants the ball down, and he goes for a big hug with Patrick Cook. And Dylan Rota, it's not a 100-metre try, but it's pretty close to it. And it's 38-0. Referees finally got there to award it. Dylan Rota leaves everyone for the dust. And we can just about start thinking about putting this one in the rack. Yes, they need to start doing something just to restore a little bit of dignity to it. 38-0, 32 to go. And you can see in the right in the middle of the shot, those goalposts I was talking about there. Yeah, they're going to be replaced in the off-season. They've been a feature here at Walker Park for a very, very long time. But from next season, they'll be replaced by more conventional goalposts. I believe that where we are right now, there will be a cricket pitch. It's going to be turned into a true multi-sport facility here. Let's see if Marlene, on our camera, can swing around a little bit later and show us just the rest of this complex, because it will look very, very different next year. Because we only ever really show the playing surface, but it's a very big area. There's a full rugby league field behind us. Also gets used for soccer. So you can imagine two football fields side by side. It's actually a very, very good cricket facility, and I'll explain a couple of other things that are going to happen here as well. But we'll do that later as we wait for Chris Hart with this conversion. He's got 5 from 6 this afternoon, and it'll be 5 from 7 as that one stays across to the right. 38-0, half an hour to go. I'm sure that Goulburn's intention when they came here today was to spoil the party for Yass, and they have really done that. But Yass at times have been their own worst enemy. In some ways, maybe a couple of their players look like they've been really trying to make an impression on Goulburn instead of actually playing football. But Willie Peace is trying to steal the ball in there. And as Titori is trying to get it from, there's a bit of feeling between those two by the looks of it. Tito may have actually just pointed to the scoreboard. Hodge took the ball on that hit up. 12 short of halfway. They go left to Goulburn. They're still in their own half, but not for much longer. Here they go. Once again, it's Martin. And just every time they get the ball, almost every tackle, they make 10 metres, if not more. So hard to defend against a fast and mobile side like this Goulburn Workers side. Hodge was cleaned up there. They didn't make the 10 that time. Now it's with Mitch Cornish. Kicks it over. Fayette chases it back. Gets the ball. Thinks about passing it. Decides to hang on to it. Turns around and discovers that almost as though Penn and Teller have been here and gone whoosh, and suddenly they've made 4 or 5 defenders appear right next to him. So, yes, they're stuck inside their own 10 for a couple of tackles to get things started. Cummins was unable to get out. Or maybe we'll give it to him as just outside the 10 on the play of the ball. And now the ball's been lost. Has that been stripped or lost? It's been lost. It's been picked up by Goulburn, and it's with Warboys. And Goulburn, now they've got a full set from inside the 10. Oh, trouble brewing here for the home side. Across to the left to Mitch Cornish. He's still going as Mitch Cornish. He's got a double. He's looking for a triple, looking for the hat trick, and he's 2 metres short. He won't get there. Jason Gray comes into dummy half. Slow play the ball. He goes across, and it was target was for Noti, but it's been knocked on. Was it McDonald who knocked it on? I think it was. He doesn't look terribly thrilled with himself. And so Goulburn will get the ball back. They'll get the ball back and well inside the 10 metres once they've played it off this scrum. Well, they don't get much easier than that, do they? I said that from a try they scored off the scrum from 40 metres out. Now they've scored one from 10 metres out, and it's like it's a training drill. I'm just trying to pick who scored it. Oh, it was Stephen Cummins who got it. That's who I'm going to give it to. And now it's 42-0. Now we're starting to get scores filtering through from other venues. And West Belconnen have had a monster win this afternoon. They've racked up a 48-10 victory over Gungahlin. Don't know if that's going to do much in terms of the competition table, because West Belconnen, well, they needed to win. They need everything to go their way. They're 5 points out of the top 4. So they've done what they can, but there's really not a lot else that they can do. They're just relying on all sorts of stuff going their way. They've done what they've had to try and keep their season alive. And Chris Hart, well, he kicked 3, missed 1, kicked 2, missed 2. Score remains 42-0 with 26 minutes remaining here at Walker Park. And the commemorations not exactly going according to plan for the home side. The sun will be setting here in about 10 minutes. And Goulburn have lost the ball here. Can't say they've lost it looking into the sun, because although the line of it is there, I reckon there is completely in shadow now. We're still getting a bit of residual sunlight here because we're in an elevated position, but just wondering these lights, when these lights are going to come on. They must just turn on. They mustn't require any warm-up time. Especially the new LED lights, which they look like. They'll come on very, very quickly. Yass have the ball. What can they do with it? Faete takes it, gets inside the 10. He's 7 metres from the line and directly in front of the posts. Again, slow play the ball, and Goulburn have been able to pick up who they want to cover. Sean Davis looked for the line, got pushed back into the field of play. He's only a metre out, if not less. Shepherd at dummy half, turns it across to, was it Meekum Crane in there? I'm not sure who got it, but he's been held up. There's plenty of people behind the goals calling for a try, but the man who was in the best position to pick it was the referee, and he was right there, and he said no try. It was actually Ben Davis who crossed the line. Okay, they go across to the right now. Fattori gives it to Jai Smith, and Jai Smith is 5 metres, 4 metres, as he stands in the tackle. And then he's brought to ground. Ben Davis finds Fattori to Meekum Crane. Then he gets it on to Collins. He's offloaded. He finds Houston. Houston dives for the corner and scores for the home side. Referee checks with the touchy, gets the thumbs up, gets the nod of the head, and Yass break the duck and get on the board.
Wide of an outlies, scored by number 4, Brendan Housden. Brendan's proudly sponsored by Bulldogs Gardening Services. So Goulburn 42, Yass 4.
And if you're going to score a try for the home side on a day like today, that's probably as good a place as any to do it, right in front of the very vocal Yass fans in that corner of the field. The lights have come on, and they do come on very, very quickly here. Rather interesting, and maybe if we get a chance after this conversion, we might just show you the rest of this facility. I'll duck out of the way of the camera as Sean Davis is lining up for the conversion, because there's lights that have gone on the field behind us, where there's very little going on. So stand by for a very quick tour of the Walker Park facility that's about to be redeveloped, as that conversion is just off to the left. Okay, let's have a quick look around so you can see the new light towers there. They've been added. That tower there, the old brown tower, that'll go in the redevelopment. And yeah, so as you can see behind us, there's a whole facility, a whole extra field. So where we are shooting from, this tower will be gone next year, and it'll be replaced replaced with a cricket pitch, and this will become a full multi-purpose sports facility here at Walker Park. Back underway with 22:50 left on the clock, and Yass in the books. Can they close the gap and add a little bit of respectability to the scoreboard? See what they've got left in them in the remaining quarter of this game there is to go. – 25 out in their own line at the moment, and they're coming across, just hanging onto the pill and working up the middle of the park, and that seems to be working for them at the moment. There's Rawlinson, who's come into play in the 16 jersey and the grey headgear. And his kick's found touch. 30 out. So Goulburn will get the ball back. As you can see, there's no real hurry for this game to continue. Both sides content to just be out there. It would be absolutely a miracle to see 40 points scored in 20 minutes. I suppose it's happened, but not from this kind of position. So Goulburn get the ball off the scrum, and Warboys takes it into the middle of the park, and he's 15 short of halfway. They go left now. And taking it forward is Hodge, and they're 10 short of the midway. Numbers to the right. Instead, continue to work it on the short side. Brebner has it. Hasn't been hugely influential today, Connor Brebner. It takes the ball, and he's still going, and that's a hallmark of that man. He's always hard to stop when he's got the ball. Mitch Cornish to Nick Cornish now. Nick Cornish, that's a shoulder charge, I reckon. Houston's gone in. Referee has given the penalty. We'll just wait for the signal. He does signal to the shoulder. And so Goulburn get the ball back, or they continue with the ball, and they'll start a set from inside the 20. They're a dangerous enough side from anywhere on the park, but inside the 20, they're very hard to stop. And Rota, he scored a try the length of the field before. 20 metres is a snap, and he gets his second. Oh, that's just far too easy. Far too easy.
Try to the Bulldogs. Scored by number 18, Dylan Raider. Score now Bulldogs 46, that's good.
So Dylan Rhoda on the double, with a double. 46-4, 20 minutes to go. And you really wouldn't put it past the Bulldogs here to rack up 60 by the time this one's done. If you're looking for a man of the match candidate this afternoon, it's going to be a tough call. Because really, you've got Mitch Cornish has done a lot. Nick Cornish probably injured and so out of the equation. Rota coming off the bench, scores a length of the field try, and another try there, but by the time he got to exert his influence on the game, was it already done? Warboys has had a good game. Tittor has had a very good game, but also has made a couple of errors earlier this afternoon. Orbison hasn't played a great deal today. Brebner hasn't had a huge influence. It's been a real team effort from this Goulburn Workers Bulldogs side. It's a very, very difficult call to make for a man of the match this afternoon. And he started with a hat-trick, did Chris Hart, in terms of conversions. And now he's missed 3 in a row. So he's got 3, got 5 in fact. All up, got 3, missed 1, got 2, missed 3. So what's that? He's got 5 from 9. Earlier this year, from memory, it was 8 from 10. When these sides met up the road at Goulburn. Yass at some stage must be getting really tired of just seeing Goulburn run at them again and again and again. But Yass have not done themselves too many favours. They've given the ball away a few times. And that was a strip. Didn't see who stripped it, but it was certainly stripped, and Goulburn, well, they get the ball again. And this is what I was just referring to. Goulburn a couple of tackles into the set. Now they get a penalty, and they get a full set of 6. And that set of 6 will start on halfway, maybe even millimetres into opposition territory. And Tittor, again, he's had a pretty good game. And, this is starting to get very, very narky. Now, the referee's called Willie Peace out. There's been some conversation with this man earlier today. It's been on between him and Izzy Tittor a bit. That may well be the last warning. The shoulder charge on that one, as the call. And now the ball that goes with Hodge. Hodge runs at Rawlinson. Comes to a stop. Now it's with Titor. Titor to Peace. Oh, that's on. That's the heavyweight contest of the afternoon. Now Gray. That's the 20. Just to the left of the uprights. They've got numbers all the way over here to the right. Will they go that way? Mitch Cornish bounces out of the first tackle. Gives it to a very surprised-looking Nick Cornish, who says, "What, me, sir? Okay, I'll go." Gets inside the 20. He's dragged to ground. 3 players getting in there. Last one in was Sean Davis, who completed the job very slowly up to play the ball. Hard to get up when there's players lying on top of you. Orbison's back on, and Mitch Cornish takes it 10 metres out. Again, very slow play of the ball. Orbison runs from dummy half, gives it across to Nick Cornish. So he seems to have recovered from that jolt to the arm earlier. He's a couple of metres out. He's got Rawlinson lying on top of him. Now they go to the right. It's onto the chest of Brebner, and Brebner, after a relatively quiet first half by his terms, gets a 4-pointer of his own. And we're past 50. 50-4, 16 remaining.
Goulburn Bulldogs 50, Yass 4.
I'm going to have to stop walking around while I'm calling this game. I've got plenty of room up in our Magpies nest to call from here, but every time I walk and turn, I'm tangling my microphone cord up. And the question is whether I'm going to be able to keep walking or whether I'm going to wind up tight in a corner like the old painter in those gags. You see the guy goes in, starts painting the room, and then winds up painting himself in the corner and has to wait 4 hours for the paint to dry. I'm seriously tangled up here in my own microphone cord. Don't pull it. You pull that, it's not going to come undone. The only way to untangle this is going to be to spin it. Oh, and Marlene on the camera has actually gone in and has done that. Now, if I twist it a little bit here, it should untangle. No. A little bit of byplay while we wait for Chris Hart with the conversion attempt. Here he comes. They don't get much easier than that. He puts it over. 52-4 with quarter of an hour remaining. And Chris Hart gets his 6th conversion of the afternoon. As I said, he had 8 in the game between these sides earlier in the year, 8 goals. And frankly, if I were a betting man, I wouldn't bet against him getting 8 goals again this afternoon. 52-4 is the score. And yes, they've got players who want the ball. They want to get more points. And this man, Connor Brebner, takes the ball to 25 out from his own line. Now it's with Hodge, and Hayden Hodge bounces off one. Ball comes free. Jai Smith gets it, but referee is calling a penalty. Now, I didn't see what the penalty was for. Will he give us a signal now? I heard the whistle, but by the time I got to look at him, oh. That's with Cornish for the penalty for the touch finder. Oh, Yass are just really at 6s and 7s. There is a gulf between these sides this afternoon. Goulburn, they're on a charge to the finals. Their for and against coming in today was plus 269. They've taken it up over 300 now. And they're looking to add to it. Cornish to Cornish. That was Mitch to Nick and then to Tyler. Tyler finds it to Dylan Rota. He's got 2. And in a moment, he'll have a hat-trick. I don't know what else to say. Every time he's got the ball, well, not every time, but certainly this afternoon, he's had a couple of times where he's got the ball and he's just been able to just put the foot down and go. I'd love to see this man in a 100-metre foot race because he is seriously quick. And now he's got a hat-trick. And he'll want more. $56-4. Conversion almost from the sideline. Chris Hart has 6 goals already today. And they've all been conversions. He hasn't taken a shot at penalty goal this afternoon. Everyone's been a conversion attempt. He's got 6. He's missed 4. And just see if we've got any scores from any other venues while we wait for the conversion attempt. We've got nothing. That's starting off to the right and moves further away to the right. The score remains 56-4. A little under 12 minutes remaining. And the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs, well, they're showing no mercy. I don't think for and against will come into it in terms of the minor premiership, but it may come into it for second and third, with the Queanbeyan Blues on the same on the same number of competition points. And Goulburn next week, well, they do take on the Queanbeyan Blues. So, well, it all gets very interesting in that second, third, fourth, fifth battle here in the Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup for 2019. We've got 11 minutes remaining in this one, and as it has been for most of the afternoon, it's Goulburn with the ball. They work it up the left side. And Fenoti takes the ball, pops one out the back door. And Orbison sets sail with, but the referee had called held, so Fenoti has the ball back. He'll play it just short of halfway. Gives it to Hodge, and Hodge tries to go through Shepherd. Can't do so, but he's made 8 metres into opposition territory. Now chip kick over the top from Mitch Cornish because there was nobody home for Yass. Meekum Crane comes back and he gets the ball. He's just in the field of play. He's running along the goal line. He's tackled there almost by Orbison. Still going, trying to get around. Bumps off of Patrick Cook. Gets back up. And Cook executes the tackle on the second attempt. Now McDonald brings the ball forward for Yass, and he's about 11 out from his own line. I can hear. You may even be able to hear it yourself. The calls there for the defensive shape for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs. So they really don't want to give up anything this afternoon. Willie Peace tries to break through the line. 28 out from his own end of the park. They are looking almost spent, this Yass side. Kick comes from Fattori, chips it over the top. Chasing it back is Brebner. He leaves it for Tyler Cornish, and Cornish picks it up before he's wrapped up by Fattori, who was chasing his own kick up the ground, and Shepherd was in there as well. Now they're across to the left of the Bulldogs. And Hart has it. He's been a radar boot much of the season, but today, not quite at the Kickpot 3000 status. 6 goals, but from 10 attempts. That's Brebner again for the Bulldogs. And again, they're on the attacking side of halfway. Mick Cornish. Raiden Fenoti. He finds the ball to Tyler Cornish. Tyler Cornish hasn't scored a try yet today, but he has now. And the Cornish trio, 4 tries between the 3 of them with 9 minutes remaining. And I think that's the 9th Bulldogs player to score a try this afternoon. 60-4 with a kick to come. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players have scored tries. And 12 tries in total. Mitch Cornish with a double. Dylan Rota with a hat-trick. And then it's Tyler Cornish, Stephen Cummins, Patrick Cook, Nick Cornish, Connor Brebner, Isaiah Titter, and Matthew Warboys. 8 minutes left. They've got the 60. They'll be backing themselves for 70 yet. They'll still think there's time to score 2. Hart looking for his 7th conversion from the afternoon. I think I've actually missed a couple of conversions for him. I've actually run out of space on my scorebook. He gets that one. So I've got him about 7 conversions. That'll be 14 points and 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tries. So we've got that right. So somewhere in there he's missed another conversion that I haven't got on the book. He's 7 from 12. And here's the man with 3 tries already today. Rota pops the ball back to War Boys. And the referee's ruled that that's been knocked on by the Bulldogs. So Yass will get the ball back and a chance to score a consolation try. I've hardly looked to my left in this second 40. Had the Brandon Houston try, but we don't keep possession stats here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was north of 60% possession for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Possibly even higher. But the Magpies have it, and they go across to the left through Fattori and Meekum Crane. And then Meekum Crane, and he's tried hard this afternoon. He's brought down 25 out from the line. Fattori to Ben Davis, and Ben Davis, can he get into the red zone? He can. He's picked up by Martin, and then they're placed gently on the turf. He'll get up inside the 20 and play it. Shepherd goes left, gives it to Rawlinson. Rawlinson finds McDonald, who somehow hangs on to it. They go very wide. Percival, he almost had to stop because he was about to go into touch. Tackled on the 10. They go to the right. Now it's Rawlinson. Rawlinson to Davis. Davis has support from a teammate, has been jumped upon as soon as he got the ball. It was Ben Davis. They come back across to the left. Waiting for it is Percival. Juggles it. Gets hold of the ball and he's driven back 5 metres. And it's the last tackle. What can they do? Can they engineer a repeat set here? Through the hands. It goes to Fattori. Fattori, well, he's kicked that way too hard. There was nobody back. The problem was he's kicked it to the moon. $58 points the margin, 5 minutes remaining, and Goulburn have the ball back, and they give it to Connor Brebner, who takes it to 30 out. They've got a 7-tackle set. That's just what Yass didn't really want. Mitch Cornish shapes with a couple of dummies and then tackled just short of his own 40-metre line. Now it's with Hodge, but it's been called forward. So Yass will get the ball back. There'll be a scrum here. They'll take as much time as they possibly can to pack the scrum. And Hodge took as much time as he could to get up off the ground. There is absolutely no urgency about this scrum being packed. Very little urgency at all about it. 4.5 left on the clock. And Goulburn perhaps will be satisfied with their day's work. So that was Rawlinson, and Rawlinson gives the ball to Houston. Houston with the only points for the afternoon for the Yass Magpies. And he's 35 short of the line. Shepherd gives it to Ben Davis, and Davis has met solidly in the tackle. Hodge, and I think it was Orbison was the other. And they just put him down on his backside. Now Turner takes it just short of the 20. They go left. Ball with Rawlinson. Rawlinson to McDonald. McDonald can't get past Dylan Rota. Rota has had a good game, and for a second then I thought he might have actually thought about being able to pinch the ball as well. Didn't come to pass. Now it's with Rawlinson again. He's been busy in the past couple of minutes. And Turner again. That's the 10-metre line that he's on. Last tackle, says the referee. Shepherd goes to the right. Rawlinson puts it onto the chest of Ben Davis. And Ben Davis on the last tackle scores the try with 3 minutes to go. It's a consolation try to the Yass Magpies.
By number 13, Ben Davis. Ben proudly sponsored by Ram Hydraulics and Civil.
But Ben Davis gets in the scorebook for this afternoon. And there is a chance, just a chance here, that Yass will be able to get into double figures before the end of this one. So Chris Rawlinson, the man to take the conversion. There's been a few people departing the ground now, but most of the fans have stuck around here. It has been an auspicious day in the history books, if not on the scoreboard, for the Yass Magpies. They trail 62-8, and Rawlinson makes it 62-10. 2 minutes left, and Yass should get the ball back. The question is, have Goulburn decided that enough is enough, that they can put the cue in the rack with a 52-point margin? Or will they decide instead that they want more points and go for the short kick-off? They don't. They go a long way back, and Rawlinson takes it. And Sean Davis gets the offload. Well, there's no real keenness to tackle here, and so Yass are able to make a few more metres out from their own end of the ground. And it was McDonald who was eventually tackled with it. Now it's Davis. And they're up to the 30. Well, they've got a minute 20 left. What can they do? Sean Davis plays it back. That was Ben Davis. And he gives it to Fattori, and Fattori is 18 short of halfway. That's the third. Minute 7 to go. This is probably the last set of the game, you would imagine. Yass will find a way to put the ball dead, and we may not get the scrum packed. That's 10 short of halfway. Rawlinson, chip kick over the top. Bounces and bounces for touch. Doesn't go to touch. Tyler Cornish takes it, turns around. So Goulburn have the ball at the end. And they will they just play it out, or will they try and add to their score? Let's see what they've got. Nick Cornish has it. Steps off his right, goes left. Runs at Ben Davis and is brought to ground 8 short of halfway. Brebner has it, but there's been a little bit of a knock-on in there. And with 24 seconds left, I can't imagine that we'll get any further play here. So let's run through the numbers here. Leading the charge for the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs today, it was Dylan Rota. He scored 3 tries this afternoon. Mitch Cornish got a double. Nick Cornish had 1. Tyler Cornish had 1 as well. Stephen Cummins had a try. Patrick Cook, Connor Brebner, Isaiah Titor and Matt Warboys had a try as well. And Chris Hart, by my reckoning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 conversions from 12 attempts. For the Yass Magpies, Brendan Housden and Ben Davis scored the tries. Chris Rawlinson had a conversion. Sean Davis missed with his 1 attempt at conversion. But the final score winds up 62 points to 10. There is not a great deal else that I can add to this one this afternoon. Congratulations to the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs, who keep their chase for the minor premiership alive here in the Bloomers Lawyers Canberra Raiders Cup. But they do need a few things to go their way. They play the Queanbeyan Blues next week in a game that may well decide who gets a spot in the top 2. So that of itself will be a very, very interesting exercise. To the Yass Magpies, well, it's been a season really without too many highlights, and they probably won't want to look back at this one too often. But tonight at the Yass Soldiers Club, there will be plenty of looking back, as this very, very proud club, one of the oldest rugby league clubs, not just in our part of the world, but in the world altogether. One of the oldest rugby league clubs in the world. The first club in our local region to mark their 100 years, and they fielded sides in every one of those 100 years without a break. But they've gone down this afternoon. To the victors go the spoils, and this afternoon by a margin of 62 points to 10. It's been the Goulburn Workers Club Bulldogs over the Yass Magpies here at Walker Park. On behalf of everyone at Bar TV and the Canberra Raiders Cup, this is Chris Coleman signing off from Walker Park this afternoon. We'll have more Canberra Raiders Cup action for you next week.